than I thought and could help my wife pay off the mortgage.
With our Smart Family Guarantee, you'll have peace of mind.
That's good to know.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cashback on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free life insurance quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0800 977 6797 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
Hello and welcome. You're watching India Global. I'm Gaurie, Dwivedi. Over the course of the next 30 minutes, we'll get you all the stories that matter to the global Indian. But first up, as always, we start with headlines. Big international story. We are tracking Iran's top cleric issues a fatwa against Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. IEA chief, meanwhile, says that Iran could resume uranium enrichment within months. Is the Middle East set for another turmoil? We decode. Trump's mega bill clears the Senate hurdle 51 to 49. How will Trump's big, beautiful bill impact the world economy and India? We tell you. Massive protests rock Bangladesh after a Hindu woman was raped. Reports suggest that prime suspect in the case, that's a local leader, Faisal Ali, is associated with the BNP. Which way the case goes and how much and how soon justice is given will be a testimony to Naya Bangladesh. External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar begins a 3-day official visit to Washington. Jaishankar will join Quad foreign ministers meeting in the US. And Europe boils in summer as heat wave warms the continent. Europeans are now bracing for the first heat wave of the northern hemisphere. Viewers, our top story on India Global today in what comes as yet another escalation in the already simmering West Asia crisis. Iran's top Shiite cleric has issued a fatwa. Now, what is that? It's a religious decree against US President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, saying that they are enemies of God. And the decrees are from the Grand Ayatollah, who's called on Muslims across the world to now target these two leaders, unite and bring down the American and Israeli leadership for threatening the Islamic Republic. Now, meanwhile, this comes at a time when there are questions that are being raised about whether or not the Iranian nuclear program has been set back or not. The watchdog says, the United Nations nuclear watchdog says that Iran could produce enriched uranium within months. contradicting what Donald Trump's assertion was that Tehran's nuclear program has been obliterated. There are intel reports as well suggesting that damage has been done, but not enough to set the program back by a decade. Now, these remarks echoed an earlier intel assessment, and what this means is that the Middle East could be set for yet another turmoil. Parallelly, there are political climate and political atmosphere in Iran that suggests willingness to escalate this possible confrontation, and parallelly on the other end you have actual ground situation indicating that the Iranian nuclear program, quote unquote, has not been obliterated. We decode this, but first up, as always, we get you the big questions, viewers. The big questions that are staring us at this entire crisis. First up, is there yet another possibility of an escalation in the region in the backdrop of what I said, the political crisis in Iran primed for a potential conflict, and on-ground situation being that the Iranian nuclear program hasn't been obliterated? Second, will the US strike Iran again? The objective was Iranian nuclear program. If it hasn't been completely dismantled, will that make a case for another strike? Third question, will this lead to more religious violence? Because that's what the cleric's entire fatwa is all about. And lastly, will this force the Arab nations to pick a side in this entire issue? Because remember, they have, are siding with Iran on the ideological aspect, but they're also deep with America in terms of security and strategic alliance. Let's get in Shobhita Chaudhary for more on this. She's a founder of the Middle East Insight platform, Middle East analyst. She is, and Shobhita, you know, the questions that come to mind is first and foremost, is the possibility of another conflict, another confrontation in the Middle East looking very real in the backdrop of two of the simultaneous developments we pointed out?
First of all, thank you for calling me. If you look into the entire pattern of what is happening in Middle East since October 7, 2023, though that's not the main point of starting of all of this, but none of the ceasefires have actually been permanent. If you talk about Israel-Hamas ceasefire, or you talk about Israel-Hezbollah ceasefire, they have not been permanent. The military-industrial complex does not want any ceasefire to be permanent. Second, as far as the 12-day war was considered, there have been 6 top generals of IDF who have been killed, 32 Mossad officers, 78 Shin Bet, the domestic intelligence agency agents, 27 Navy officers, 198 Air Force officers, 462 soldiers, 423 civilians. The damage on the Iron Dome is 11 billion. Now, coming to the first question, fatwa is not legally binding outside of the jurisdiction of Iran. At the same time,
this is not about a fatwa. No, Shubhta, this is not about the fatwa. You know, frankly, the Iranian cleric is addressing his domestic constituency. The question is not about the fatwa. The question is about the fact that is the region primed for another conflict, because A, the Iranian program still many feel have survived, and will this now act as a catalyst to double down on it, probably get to that nuclear bomb sooner than ideally they would have wanted it?
The first point is that the US attack that took place on 21st, 22nd of June, that attacked Fordo, Isfahan, Natanz, the damage of that and the extent of it is classified. Second, before the Israeli strike, Iran had stated to International Atomic Energy Agency that it had almost starting a new enrichment facility, which was not Isfahan, Fordo, or Natanz. Before that, Israel struck. Third, right now, no one knows where is 400 kgs of highly enriched 60% uranium right now in Iran. Okay. The point here is that will it escalate? Obviously it will, because both Israel and Iran have to answer about their own political legitimacy to their domestic audiences. That's the first reason. The second reason is that this has now, the IAEA, for example, even though Grossi is a very distinguished diplomat, but the Iranian television channel, which is state-owned, has reported that from 2014 to 2016, he was in regular contact with Mirav Zafari Odez, who was Israel's IAEA representative. Grossi has not talked about why JCPOA, after Trump pulling out of it, why Iran did not pull out of it, why JCPOA is not functional.
Okay.
Grossi does not talk about why the Dimona facility of Israel, which has plutonium enrichment
Okay.
going on, which is far more dangerous and toxic than uranium enrichment.
Okay.
He has not condemned it. Grossi has not even asked about the regular or given any kind of answer about what kind of checks does US or European Union
Okay.
countries with nuclear arsenal have.
Shubhda, I'm running
So
out
there
of
is an
time,
asymmetry.
but a quick 30 seconds, which is the reason why I was talking about fatwa and I still feel it's important, is because, you know, this is also a call for religious violence. That is what I want to ask from you very quickly. Do you think that's what it's going to lead to? There was a Salman Rushdie fatwa as well, and 30 years later, you did see that attack happening. So here as well, do you think it's likely to have that impact, whether it is Americans, whether it's Jews in third countries around the world?
Yes, it will. Non-state actors, it's going to cause massive religious hatred and violence, even though it's not legally binding. But at the same time, do remember that the kind of, the point of starting off the acrimony against the IDF or Israeli state or Netanyahu is not just Iran. All over the world, it's Gaza. So that would be, Netanyahu has made Jews a lot more unsafer. And there were 2 diplomats who were assassinated in broad daylight just a couple of weeks back.
Yes.
There was the case of Daniel Pearl. No one was able to save him. So the hatred against Jews, or the violence or the rise of anti-Semitism against Jews who have nothing to do with it, will rise.
Okay.
And all the political actors are going to use this kind of rhetoric for their own advantage.
All right. Okay. I'll leave it there, Shubhda, because this conversation is more nuanced. There are several aspects to it as well. The October 7th attack, Hamas. Hopefully, we'll connect again and we'll spend more time in deliberating on all those nuances as well. But thanks so much for speaking to me. And viewers, bottom line, as far as this situation in the Middle East is concerned, is that it remains a matter of concern. American strikes on Iranian nuclear sites may have had some impact, may have set the program back, but by how much? Well, no one knows, not even the American intel, who feel that maybe not enough was done. Now, if the program has survived, it will mean a possibility of an acceleration of the Iranian program to build a nuclear bomb in record time. And Iran's ties with its regional allies will also change. They will have to pick a side, which means either they want to be on the Iranian side or the American security and strategic arc that they are a part of, they've paid for. And that is going to further make the region more unstable with more hostilities. All right, turning attention now to the latest unfolding in the US-Canada relationship. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said trade talks with the US have resumed after Canada rescinded its plan to tax US technology firms. Canada scrapped its digital services tax targeting American technology firms late on Sunday, just hours before it was due to take effect. In a bid to advance those stalled trade talks with the US, Trump abruptly called off trade talks on Friday over the tax targeting American tech firms, saying that it was a blatant attack. So how do you deal with this on again, off again kind of a trade talk when it comes to Donald Trump? I guess Canada is trying to set the template that you've got to provide some concessions, even though it's unclear where the buck really stops. All right, turning attention now to more news coming in from the US. And in fact, this is going to be a very big deal as and when it comes out. That is Trump's signature bill. And let's put that out as well, viewers, when we talk about what is the kind of, and let's put that on the graphics as well that we take on the wall, which is the amount of impact that this is going to have, the big, beautiful bill that is in the Senate, and it is going to be in the House as well. And that is when it's going to become a law. It is Donald Trump's signature bill. His political capital, so to say, is part of it. But what's really is this bill? Well, first and foremost, what is it going to do to the American economy? Those numbers tell the story here. 6.7% is the GDP deficit that the US currently has. The debt is 35% of GDP, and it is set to go up to 100% by this year because of the big beautiful bill. Well, frankly, it is not big and beautiful when it comes to debt. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the spending cuts are going to be about $1.3 trillion that are there, but the amount in terms of the tax cuts is $3.7 trillion, which means that there is going to be less money that they will be able to save, and therefore is going to add to the debt that is there. Now, let's talk about how is it going to impact the American economy. Debt is going to soar further. I told you that the spending cuts are less, the tax concessions are more, which means less revenues coming in. Growth is likely to go down from 2.5% last year to about 1.5% this year. Now, and that will have a sizable impact on the world economy as well. And that's the second thing I want to put out. What's the impact on the world economy? Well, if the US is going to slow down, the world is going to slow down. If US starts growing at 1.5% instead of 2.5%, the global growth engine also slows down. And you can see that America is the world's largest consumer. If it starts slowing down in terms of growth, it means it's going to consume less. If it starts consuming less, it's going to start importing less. Now, the US-India trade balance is about the trade size is about $132 billion. This is where we run a trade surplus. We export more than what we import, which means that America consumes more of our products. But as I said, if the American growth slows down, if they consume less, then the world economy suffers, because everybody who's exporting to the US will be looking at a possibility of lower American consumption. And what does it quickly mean as far as India is concerned? Let's put that last slide out also in terms of these are some of the agreements that are put out in the signature bill. The remittance tax has been slashed down. Let's move ahead. The new fee has been imposed, and it impacts the overall F1 and green card holders as well. Let's quickly put that out for our viewers to understand. This is what the bill says. But the larger impact, viewers, that I told you was that because of that big, beautiful numbers that are there in it, it's going to have a cascading impact on the American economy. And if it slows down, it brings with it the world economy, and that includes India as well. So that I told you was what some of the aspects of the world economy and the American economy are concerned. But on that note, viewers, we're going to slip into a very short break, come back with more news on the other side of India Global. Stay with us. We come back and talk more on Bangladesh.
It feels good knowing that your future's in hand. Evlo can offer you a loan from £1,000 to £15,000, whether it's for home improvements, new appliances, a car, or for some of life's big moments. So even if you've had problems with credit before, Evlo looks beyond your credit score and always takes a case-by-case approach. Visit evlo.co.uk to get your conditional decision in minutes. Evlo, your future in your hands.
Family life. It's made of ups and downs, and those little moments. But should the unthinkable happen to you? Life insurance from Legal & General can help look after monthly bills, the roof over their heads, childcare costs, and most importantly, your family. Because no one protects more families in the UK than us. Premiums start from £5 a month and they never rise. Plus there's a £100 gift card after you apply. Legal & General. Ensure life goes on.
تنيس جلع وعي جعلة تنهدى فيها روي حمسوني واقف فيه أنا أخواتي بيموتوا من الجوع ما نصير تغذية كمان بيغوا بالليل بيبكوا من الجوع يعني ما بنحسن يعني نعمل لهم أكل أيام كتل ولم فلا من قهر فون مليون جنيه فون مليون يا شغل.
For Khaltoon, Tariq and Basira, seeing their siblings suffer from malnutrition is heartbreaking. They are among millions of children caught in a worsening hunger crisis. Across the world, families are struggling to find food because of conflict, displacement, and extreme weather. Your £5 a month can help us provide life-saving food and medical care to help families with lasting solutions to beat hunger. No child should go hungry, so please donate today. Please search Save the Children or visit savethechildren.org.uk to give £5 a month. Thank you.
We know travel can be confusing. That's why I use travelup.com. Compare and book over 100 airlines and thousands of hotels. And while you're away, TravelUp has you covered. Get flight updates on delays and cancellations in a way that suits you. TravelUp provides this for over 100 airlines, so there's no need to have multiple travel apps on your phone. Book now on travelup.com or call 0207 580 5000. TravelUp. Flights, hotels, holidays.
I bought cars on finance, so I've made my claim.
If our lenders charge hidden commissions, then I've made my claim.
I could be on thousands.
I've made my claim.
I've made my claim.
I've made my claim.
I've made my claim. It's so quick and simple.
You could be owed thousands in hidden commissions from vehicles bought on finance since 2007, even without the details.
I've made my claim.
Trust myclaimgroup.co.uk.
Claims made simple.
Of Hinduism. Viewers, it's now time to once again take a look at what's happening as far as Bangladesh is concerned. Yet another day, another instance of brutal attack as far as the minorities are concerned. A brutal rape of a Hindu woman took place by radical groups in Bangladeshi political system, and it is now alleged that they have links to the political class as well. Students from Dhaka University organized massive protests condemning the rape, while residents of its Jagannath Hall dormitory dedicated for minority community students took out processions calling for justice. Now, in the midst of all this, there is no clarity as to what could be the next course of action, even as it seems that the police has swung into some sort of an effort to be able to identify the next course of action. There are some reports indicating that the victim may be pressurized to take back her complaint as well. But the larger question that remains, and I'm going to get in Faisal Mahmood to talk on this in terms of the collapse of the law and order machinery, and more importantly, the systemic failure to address the minorities and their concerns. Faisal is a press minister at the Bangladesh High Commission. Faisal, I will give you all the time because at the end of the day, this shocking case that has come to light, as it's soul-shattering at so many levels, that one woman was completely, she was helpless, she was raped, and there were 4 men who actually filmed that entire horrific case and circulated it on social media. How soon do you think this case should be solved for it to act as a lesson to all those who are trying to target minorities?
Thank you, Gaurie. Let me say one thing first, like regardless of any other aspect of the whole thing, like whether any rape occurred or the nature of the relationship between the parties, the digital dissemination of women's naked image is a brutal, clear-cut offense. And I'm using this platform of yours to issue my unequivocal condemnation to the incident. You know, the Bangladesh police has swung into action and arrested 5 people in connection with the incident. But the whole incident seems very vague, and there is no conclusive evidence that the woman was raped. Because, you know, there are stories surfacing on the local media that the women might have had relationship with one other person, and it was a case of, you know, political vendetta. And I mean, your news mentioned about one party, BNP, but it was later proven that those persons were actually affiliated with, you know, Awami League. But again, forget all these things, that the whole issue about, like, you know, circulating a woman's naked image, obviously against her consent, and the whole thing about like beating her is completely, as I said, like I offer my unequivocal condemnation on the incident.
Faisal, you raised 2 very important points, and the reason why I didn't interrupt you is because I wanted you to complete for the viewers to also understand what you said, which is that you are alleging that there was not a rape here and there was political vendetta. Do you think such allegations undermine the cause of women's safety at the end of the day? That's what you're doing.
Probably. But, you know, I personally talk with the police officers there, because since it involved with a minority lady, and obviously it doesn't bode well for our country as an image, because the minorities are not feeling full confidence on this interim government after August 5th. So it is our responsibility to protect the minorities. So that's why I personally talk with the police officers there. And the police officers gave me this sort of like, because the case is still undergoing and 5 people are being arrested. But they told me that it's probably not a cause of rape. The full incident will come to the fore after the investigation is conducted. But it was probably, it was a political vendetta. The woman was having an affair with another person, and a group of people sort of like staged the whole thing to gain some political brownies. But again, regardless of the incident, regardless of everything, the whole incident was horrific, and I think there was a rage in Bangladesh among the common sensible people that a woman's naked video and beating her, be it minority or minority, cannot be circulated in the social media. It shows that
Faisal, I'm going to leave it there.
The situation is really under stress.
I'm going to leave it there, but I'm going to keep following up on this case, and we're going to keep chatting, hopefully to be able to then talk about speedy justice being given as far as this case is concerned. Faisal Mahmood joining us on that story. Bottom line, viewers, is that this shocking case has become a flashpoint for larger demand for justice and equality for Hindus and other minorities in Bangladesh. The government needs to address the systemic failures that allow such crimes to continue with complete impunity. And this case is a litmus test for Bangladesh's commitment towards women's safety and protection of minorities under Muhammad Yunus's watch. The world is watching, and if the Nobel laureate will provide justice or not is what they are really watching right now. All right, turning attention now to the other story that we are talking. Well, there's a heat wave that is continuing in large parts of Europe, and authorities are now coming out with health warnings to make sure that the southern Spain, which is one of the worst affected regions, is being able to cope with this better. Temperatures are in mid-40s that have been recorded in several and neighboring areas. That's the extent to which one may say global warming is taking place, or other factors that have led to Europe actually witnessing unprecedented heat waves. All right, viewers, as we wrap things up, we leave you with what is a very heartwarming story of, well, what if home was not just a place on the map, but the entire world? An Indian family of 3 is providing and proving that a life of adventure is indeed possible. Their incredible journey has wowed online users. Meet Gaurav Gautam, a retired Navy officer, his wife, Vedehi Chitnavis, a former media professional, and their daughter, Kaya. Together, they decided to leave behind the conventional lifestyle, embrace the open seas, and after nearly selling everything they own, they now live full-time on their Tiana, Vancouver, 42-foot solar-powered sailboat, Riva. Take a look.
So let's give you a glimpse of what our home looks like. She's a 42-foot ocean-going sailboat called Riva. As we step inside, we enter the largest living space, the salon. The space is our living room, library, and dining area. Let me take you outside and see what's there. These are our neighbors. This is our backyard. And this is us.
All right, viewers. Who wouldn't want that life of adventure? With that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Global. Thanks so very much for watching.
The UK's first human heart transplant has been completed, supported by the British Heart Foundation.
We were a noisy generation. But it might be something quiet we do that becomes our greatest legacy. Leave a gift in your will to the British Heart Foundation and fund groundbreaking research that could help save millions of lives. Search BHF Wills.
Get that lucky cow feeling with luckycowbingo.com/bingo. The site that's bursting with beautiful bingo games. That's luckycowbingo.com/bingo.
It feels good knowing that your future's in hand. EFLO can offer you a loan from £1,000 to £15,000. Get your conditional decision in minutes.
It's great to be helping out before my first grandchild arrives. And after having a few repairs myself, I need to make sure they'll all be protected. Which reminds me.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote.
No problem. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK. UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted. Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000.
Wow, that money could help with funeral costs or as a gift for my grandkid. I'll do it.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
He's going to be named after his granddad.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free life insurance quote today, call our UK team on 0800 470 4444 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
Save up to £462 in your car insurance when you've just used Confused.com.
Dealing with my lot means making smart choices. And with our family growing, I want to protect the life we've built. That's why I'm calling Smart Insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please.
OK, you can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000 depending on your age.
Brilliant.
If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought, and could help my husband pay off the mortgage.
With our Smart Family Guarantee, you'll have peace of mind.
I'll go ahead.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cashback on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free life insurance quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0800 977 5753 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
Minister for the failing law and order situation. In Bengaluru, a body was dumped in a garbage over the weekend, and through CCTV footage, the police have managed to find her live-in partner who strangulated the woman over an argument. Language face-off in Maharashtra. Hindi has now that order as far as Hindi's imposition is concerned. That's been taken back while protests continue by MVA as well as Mahayuti at the Assembly. Mining cloud over Sariskas Tiger Reserve. The Congress slamming that plan to alter the boundary wall, and the government in Rajasthan says this will not have any impact on the tigers in the area. Let's get you the latest, and that is our top story coming out of Karnataka. While its Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and the Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar putting up that united front, we also have Mallikarjun Kharge reacting to this. Well, Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress president, has gone on to say that it's in the hands of the party high command when it comes to change of guard, and no one can say what's going on in the high command. That is how he's reacting to murmurs doing the rounds of this meeting could perhaps lead to a change in guard, and whether it could be D.K. Shivkumar taking charge as the Chief Minister of the state. Something that has been implied from people within the party, but something that could perhaps not be taking place now, but towards the end of the year. Do remember Randeep Surjewala is in Bengaluru today to hold talks in order to iron out differences. This is the talks that are going to be taking place with a number of Congress MLAs who've been speaking out against Siddaramaiah and his ruling government. Let's listen in.
That is in the hands of High Command. Nobody can say here what is going in the High Command. This is left to the High Command. High Command has got power to take further actions, but unnecessarily one should not create problems.
ಭವಿಷ್ಯನು ಏನು ನುಡಿತಾನೆ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಈ ಸರ್ಕಾರ 5 ವರ್ಷ ಬಂಡೆ ತರ ಭದ್ರವಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ.
ನೀವಿಬ್ರು ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು
ನಾವಿಬ್ರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀವಲ್ವಾ
ಕೆಲಸ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಮಿಬ್ರು
ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ನಾವು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ.
Sir, even as multiple Congress legislators continue to talk about power centers, change in guard, Mr. Randeep Singh Surjewala is here. He's going to be meeting MLAs one-on-one to talk about, issues pertaining to their statements of leadership change, talk about corruption issues that they're raising, administration issues that how do you really look at, this meeting and how important is it?
He is the General Secretary of the Congress party, and Congress is a very democratic party. It runs with the opinion and the way the members of the party would like to contribute. And these are not special circumstances and all. These are the activities which keep happening in the party, like General Secretaries meeting the legislators, meeting the party workers, meeting the office bearers. So this is part of our party's the way we function.
Why do you think but the talks of leadership change keeps coming again and again? Because High Command in the past has said, well, keep these conversations to yourself and these are decisions to be made by the top.
That I don't think so. That is something which is major, which is happening. One or two people talking about that is not a very big issue as such in the party. But the fact of the matter is the legislators have to be heard time and again by the party. The chief minister keeps meeting them, the deputy chief minister keeps meeting them, that is all okay. But party, we fight on a party ticket. We get elected as the members of the Congress party, we have got elected. So the party leadership has to sit with us time and again.
So while the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister were seen holding hands in a show of unity, let's listen in to troubleshooter Randeep Surjewala, what he has to say.
So this is a continuous exercise for introspection and development of the state and for ensuring that we are able to do best for our people. Any news that is circulated in the media about some leadership change, etc., are only a figment of your imagination. This is an organizational exercise we are undertaking. Thank you so much.
Well, we have Veera Raghav also joining us as well as Deepak to get us more on this. Veera, over to you first. Of course, whether it's Randeep Surjewala, whether it's Mallikarjun Kharge, and of course, it is Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar holding hands, really putting up that united front, trying to say that there's nothing really, there are no major differences here, is the kind of signaling and the messaging that they're putting out. But there are MLAs who have been voicing their concerns, and that is something that is going to be, something that's on the agenda of this particular visit of Surjewala.
Well, yes, the murmurs that you've heard over the last few days will be a matter for discussion, but the message from the top is very clear. Let's put a lid on this. There is no question of upsetting the status quo at this stage. It's a very delicate status quo, as we've seen in operation since the Congress came to power in Karnataka. It's an agreement between the top two that you see on your screens holding their hands. So the message from the top is that there is going to be no discussion of any change in the status quo in terms of the top power equations at the moment, and it's time to put a lid on this. The message from the Congress president also to say that no minister, no MLA should speak out of turn as far as a change of guard in Karnataka is concerned. We believe that the status quo will perhaps be revisited post-September, October, but that's also up for speculation. For the moment, of course, there are other issues, as I mentioned, in terms of fund crunches, MLA's dissatisfaction, MLC nominations to 4 MLC seats, boards, representation in boards, etc. So multiple issues that will be raised by the MLAs. The effort is to allow them to speak at a closed-door meeting to the party general secretary in charge, and then send out a message of saying don't speak out in public about these issues, because this is something that has been deeply embarrassing the party and fueling talk of that potential power challenge within.
Right, let's just get in Deepak as well. And Deepak, of course, that united front that we're all talking about, obviously, the need of the hour is to put out that united front, because perhaps this is a move that's not going to be taken just yet, and it could be, taking place in a few months from now, perhaps closer to the end of the year.
Well, a lot of hectic developments have taken place over the last week. When I say developments, they pertain to conversations between, legislators, officers, also conversations between organizations and their leaders and, ministers with the media, and so on. Now, all of these can be considered important, considering the fact that when, the Congress came to power in 2023, there was a lot of question marks as to who is going to lead the Congress, who is going to be the chief minister, whether it's going to be D.K. Shivakumar, the KPCC president then, who gave and delivered to the Congress party a, victory margin that was not something that they had imagined before. Or is it going to be the mass appeal of Mr. Siddaramaiah? Then it was the choice for the High Command to make, and the High Command chose Mr. Siddaramaiah to take over. But there was, at that point in time, a hint that was dropped that it's going to be a power-sharing formula. That power-sharing formula comes into effect this December, or rather November, December, towards the end of this year, when 2.5 years basically of this government comes to a close. But this is something that has not been put down on paper. This is a verbal communication that was made, and now some of the legislators backing D.K. Shivakumar started to, grow in chorus, talking about this issue. But the biggest element here to note is Mr. Kharge saying that, or rather admitting that there is something to look at, and this is something that will be looked at by the High Command. So he's not dismissing the fact that there could be a possibility of a change. He's saying that there is a possibility and the High Command will take the final call. I'm here at the KPCC office. Randeep Surjewala meeting B.R. Patil as we speak, and meeting with other MLAs as well will get underway shortly.
Right, thank you so much, Deepak and Veera, for getting us all those details. Very shocking case that has come to light, and this is the Pahalgam rape horror, in which the bail application has been denied to the rape accused. Do remember, a 70-year-old allegedly woman was raped in Pahalgam, and the incident that took place in the month of April. The bail was denied on Friday, and shocking details have emerged in the case. Naseer joining us to get us the very latest. Naseer, this was a man who's been accused of raping a 70-year-old tourist from Maharashtra, and the bail has been rejected. Now, take us through the kind of chilling details which are coming to light.
Well, it's one of the most horrific and a shameful incident which has happened in Pahalgam in April, and it was completely overshadowed, and when we all reported this Pahalgam horrific terror attack in which 26 people were killed, several others injured. So this incident completely, nobody had an idea till the time on Friday when the court in Anantnag district principal district and session judge, he heard the bail application of the accused, and he has rejected that bail application, and then explaining this order about the horrific nature of this crime and how a old woman was brutally raped by this monster known as Zubair Ahmed. Principal district judge Anantnag, this Tahir Khurshid Raina, in his order, and he's actually questioning the moral fabric of the society, and he's saying why the society should rise against these things. Only beauty and these mountain rivers cannot bring you the tourists. It is to be the moral fabric of the society which has to be intact. He talked about this place of saints and sees how this horrific incident can take place there. But actually nobody knew about this incident till the time the court rejected the bail application. Bail application was moved by the accused, and wherein he has claimed that he is being implicated with fabricated things, which court has completely rejected and rejected his bail also. This has clearly shown that while tourists have been seeing, apart from that, this besides the terror incident we see, which has shaken everybody, but when it comes to women's safety, Kashmir.
Save up to £462 in your car insurance when you've just used Confused.com.
It feels good knowing that your future's in hand. Evlo can offer you a loan from £1,000 to £15,000, whether it's for home improvements, new appliances, a car, or for some of life's big moments. So even if you've had problems with credit before, Evlo looks beyond your credit score and always takes a case-by-case approach. Visit evlo.co.uk to get your conditional decision in minutes. Evlo, your future in your hands.
Someone's happy. Get that lucky cow feeling. with luckycowbingo.com/bingo, the site that's bursting with beautiful bingo games. 75 ball bingo, even 90 ball bingo. Fill your bingo boots today. Get that Lucky Cow feeling at luckycowbingo.com/bingo or download the Lucky Cow Android app from the Play Store.
Magic family moments deserve the perfect setting. A stylish awning from House is the ideal addition to your outdoor space. Available in a range of colours and finishes, and with the option of integrated lighting and heating, you can enjoy your outdoor space for even longer. Now that is magic. House awnings, made for life.
Right now, a child like Clara needs Childline to answer their call because they're being abused, neglected, or bullied. A child who just wants the pain and fear they're experiencing to stop.
Hello, you're through to someone you can talk to.
For children being abused, Childline is a lifeline.
Something's happened with Mum's boyfriend.
That first call can literally be a life-changing call. In so many cases, we are the first people a child will reach out to. Childline needs your support so we can be there 24 hours a day. Please make sure a child gets the help they need and give just £2 a month now. Call 0800 702 2976 or search NSPCC. You can help us be there for the thousands of children who urgently need someone to talk to. When a child needs to make a life-changing call, you can help make sure we are there to answer it. Thank you.
How long's it been then? We met about 8 years back. What? Yeah, serious relationship.
He has this way of looking into my eyes.
Knows how to treat me. Gentle, considerate.
Did I tell you he owns his own business? I think he's going to pop the question.
Better or worse?
Better.
Our opticians and audiologists own their stores, so your care is their business, which can make them rather popular.
Apparently, he's seeing half the town.
Book an appointment today.
What kind of checks are done for students to come in? What are the security measurements basically within the campus?
Technically, they were nothing such as stopping someone from entering the campus. We were students, we used to get the free access to all the rooms.
And the BJP fact-finding team is, in fact, in Kolkata. This really comes at a time when 3 PILs have been filed in the High Court of Calcutta. The petitions include demands for an investigation under the supervision of the court, monitoring by a retired judge, and ensuring adequate security measures in the college. The court has granted permission to file the PILs, and hearing is likely to take place on Thursday.
একজন মহিলা মুখ্যমন্ত্রী জায়গাতে লাগাতার একের পর এক রেপ হচ্ছে, আর তাও এমন এমন ইনস্টিটিউশন মেডিকেল কলেজে হচ্ছে, ল কলেজে হচ্ছে, আর তার সঙ্গে তাদের নেতাদের যে বয়ান সেই বন্ধু বান্ধবের মধ্যে হয়ে যেতে পারে। এটা তো সিপিএম এর লোক ছিল, সন্দেশখালীতে তো এটা তো চলতেই থাকে। তারপরে যদি কেউ ডেমনস্ট্রেশন দেয় তাহলে ষড়যন্ত্র করছে, তাদের হাত পা ভেঙে দেবে। কারণে এই ধরনের ঘটনা লাগাতার বাংলাতে ঘটছে।
BJP, they're accusing the Chief Minister of the state of West Bengal, saying that there is a woman Chief Minister, and yet one ghastly incident after the other is coming to light. Moving on now to a massive fire that's taken place at a Telangana chemical factory. This is in which 8 people have died in the explosion. Several workers have been taken to the hospital. They have been severely injured in the process, and several are in fact, they have been injured, of which 8 people have died. We have Uma, my colleague, joining us. Uma, concerns being raised as to if, from the visuals on our screen, as to the extent of the damage that we're seeing. Was it a reactor that caused this fire?
This is Sigachi Industries, and it's one of the oldest industries in this place, we are told. And early morning is when around 9:50, 9:18 is the time when the blast seems to have happened in one of the reactors. This is a family who has come to look for their loved one. Me husband work chestarandi ikkada. Podune ennintiకి వచ్చారు?
5:30కి వచ్చారండి. పోస్ట్ డ్యూటీకి వచ్చారు.
అండ్ ఆయన దగ్గర కాంటాక్ట్ లేదు మీకు ఇప్పుడు? ఇప్పుడు ఇంకా కంపెనీ తరఫు నుంచి ఏం చెప్పలేదా మీకు? విని వచ్చారా?
అవునండి.
కనుక్కోవాలి ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఇక్కడ.
అవును.
So the families, his father has also come. మీరు కనుక్కున్నారా? పూछे आप यहाँ पे अंदर?
చెప్పట్లేదు ఏమి హాస్పిటల్ పంపించిరా మనిషి లోపల ఉండా ఏం అర్థం అవ్వట్లేదు ఏమైనా అడుగుతున్నా కానీ సరిగ్గా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఏమి ఇవ్వట్లేదు. మా వాళ్ళదే మాకు తెలుస్తలే అది ఇది అంటారు. అది హాస్పిటల్కి వెళ్ళి చెక్ చేయాలా లేకపోతే ఇక్కడ ఉండి వెయిట్ చేయాలని ఏం అర్థం అవ్వట్లేదు నాకు కూడా.
So confusion among the people. Of course, 26 people shifted to hospital. I have with me BRS leader Mr. Harish Rao. You have been near the factory. Very terrible accident this seems to have been. What are the details that you know of? Because officially not much information has come out.
Yeah, it's a very sad incident. It happened in the morning around 9:15 in the today morning. I went inside and I met with the district officers, collector and the SP and the industrial department officers, but they are unable to give the actual figures. As per the workers are saying, in the morning shift there are around 150 people are working. So far, official information, they say 26 people are shifted to hospitals and 8 people are died. So out of these 26 people, some of them are serious. So just now I requested the collector and the SP to shift them to the higher facility center. Right now they have joined in the local first aid centers. So in this such a blasting incident, they cannot survive in these first aid centers. I requested them to shift them to a higher facility center so that we can save their lives. So rescue operations are going on. NDSRF teams have come. And all the 4-story, the big building completely collapsed. So
worry is that there could be people still trapped inside. I'm told the administrative block actually is very hot and people are not able to get there.
Correct. In the administrative block, there are around 25-30 people are working. What about their lives, we don't know so far. The administration is totally failed, in fact. So far, they have not opened any inquiry center or any contact number. They have not yet declared. People from North India also working here. Almost many people from Bihar, Chhattisgarh, they are working here. They are all crying. They are all trying to contact the people. Victims are coming. Their family members are coming. Here, no officer or nobody from the department is receiving them or giving any information. They don't know whether they are in the hospital or where they are in the क्या हुआ है कुछ मालूम नहीं हो रहा है. लोग बहुत परेशान में हैं. अभी मैं उन लोगों से यही रिक्वेस्ट करा कि इमीडिएटली एक इंक्वायरी सेंटर ओपन करिए और एक कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर दे दीजिए मीडिया में so that people will contact that number and they'll come to know. So
the Pashamailaram is a well-known industrial kind of an area, isn't it?
Exactly. यहाँ कम से कम एक फायर स्टेशन भी नहीं है. ये एक साल में ये चौथा इंसिडेंट है. संगारेड्डी ज़िले में ऐसा रिएक्टर्स ब्लास्ट होके दिस इज़ द 4th कंटिन्यूस इंसिडेंट इज़ हैपनिंग. इट लुक्स लाइक दैट देयर इज़ सम कोऑर्डिनेशन गैप है. इंडस्ट्री सेफ्टी मेजरमेंट नहीं ले रहे. बॉयलर इंस्पेक्टर का इंस्पेक्शन नहीं हो रहा. ये तो पुराना इंडस्ट्री है, 35 साल से ये इंडस्ट्री है, लेकिन रेगुलर इंस्पेक्शंस होना चाहिए, रेगुलर सेफ्टी मेजर्स लेना चाहिए. नहीं लेने से ये कंटिन्यूस है. हर 3 महीने 4 महीने एक इंसिडेंट हो रहा. इसके पहले यही संगारेड्डी जिला हथनूरा में एक ब्लास्ट हुआ तो 5-6 लोग मर चुके हैं. यही पाशामैलारम इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया में भी 3-4 इंसिडेंट हुआ.
जैसे आपने कहा कुछ तो एम्प्लॉइज होते हैं बट बहुत सारे आउटसोर्स्ड वर्कर्स भी होते हैं इन दिस काइंड ऑफ फैक्ट्री.
या ये भी बता रहे कि थोड़े वर्कर्स ये स्किल्ड वर्क काम है. स्किल्ड काम पे लेबर को लेके आके वो लोग काम करने लगा रहे. ऐसा भी इंसिडेंट्स हो रहा है. या ये वेरिफिकेशन डिपार्टमेंट करने का ज़रूरत है वेदर दे आर स्किल्ड, दे आर क्वालिफाइड, दे आर एबल टू ऑपरेट द रिएक्टर्स और नॉट, बट दे आर नॉट लुकिंग एट. इस वास्ते भी ऐसा हो रहा बल्कि लोग बता रहे.
Any indication of about the factory safety? Obviously there would be inspections that are supposed to be regularly conducted.
It's very sad. मैं जाके मॉर्निंग शिफ्ट में कितने लोग ड्यूटी में था बोल के अभी 5 घंटे